This initiation today is Diksha. Diksha means Divyam Jnanam. Divyam Jnanam yato dadyat puryat papa sankshayam tasmat diksheti sa prokta deshikais tatvako vidai. Hari Bhaktivilas says that intelligent people know Diksha as Divyam Jnanam, the imparting of divine knowledge. And divine knowledge comes through, and also through the mantra. And the verse says, and one is given a new life. There's three kinds of dvijas. Sanskrit word dvija has three meanings. One is teeth, another is bird, and a third is a second, a human who has taken a second birth, because dvi means two. Birds are born twice because egg and then they come out. And teeth are born twice because they have baby teeth and then your permanent teeth, hopefully permanent. And also, when we take a human birth, we have to be reformed. Reformation is necessary. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramon nirmatsaranam siddham vedam vasavam tapa mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Vapre Ishvara. And Bhagavat culture and the Panchatric system is to refine us so that we can use our senses again in Krishna's service. When our senses are contaminated by matter, then we become addicted to the sense objects. And when they're purified, we become addicted to spiritual sense objects. It's the difference between Atmendriya Priti and Krishnendriya Priti. We have love for satisfying Krishna, his senses, and the opposite is love for our own senses. So, Kuryat Papasaya Shankshayam, the sinful desire to enjoy one's own senses separate from Krishna is crushed by Divyam Jnanam and by this initiation. And similarly, is mentioned by Srila Sanatana Goswami, Yata Kanchanatam, that's just as Kamsam Rasa Vidanata, Tata Diksha Vidanena, Dvijatam Jaitendranam, that just as bell metal, regular metal can be turned into gold by an alchemical process. You have to follow the process exactly. Prabhupada didn't tell the devotees what it is for making gold, because Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked him. And but he did give us the formula for changing an ordinary person into a Brahmana, to this process of Diksha. So he said, Vidanena, when you follow the process, which means that in your life you decide to take up the mode of service as given by Krishna in the Shastras, and then you accept a spiritual master to guide you. And in that process, you're following Krishna's instruction, Vidanena, and then accepting the initiation, the Diksha, means that you become transformed, second born. So the mantras that you'll receive, first is a Vedic mantra. That Vedic mantra didn't used to be there for the Vaishnavas because we don't follow Vedic system. Actually, we follow the Panchatric system, and also along with the other Vaishnava mantras. Because in India, when somebody becomes a Vaishnava, they would take their thread off to show that they had no designation anymore in the Varnashrama. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Naham Vipro Nacha Nanapatir Napi Vaisho Nashudro Naham Varni Nacha Gripatir No Vanasto Yatir Va. Kintu Prodyan Nikila Paramananda Purnamritaptir Gopi Bhartu Kamaliopra Das 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 Anadasa. I don't belong to any of these designated ashrams or varnas. I'm just the servant of the gopis. And so in India, the Gaudiya Vaishnavism had become degraded and people didn't think very highly. But Chaitanya and also Brahmins thought they were the best in the sense that they were born as Brahmins. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta showed that, oh, if you take Vaishnava initiation, then you're automatically a Brahmin. That's also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Aho bata shwapachato gariyanya jiva grevartate namatubhyam te pustapas teju huvusasna arya brahmanatra nama grananti ete. Devahuti says how wonderful it is that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, even a little bit, even one time, someone becomes purified. Somebody's sincerely chanting Hare Krishna becomes so purified that they automatically, they surpass the position of a Brahmin. Brahmanism is included within the Vaishnava lifestyle and initiation. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in India, to be demonstrative about that, he gave back when people took initiation into the Sampradaya, he gave them the Brahmin thread and also this Vedic mantra that starts with Om Bhurvava Swaha. And the mantras that you'll be chanting are also the origin of all the other Panchatric mantras, especially the Krishna mantra that's within the 7 that you'll learn. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that initiation is part of a process. It starts with tapa, or this austerity, the turning away from the material world. Tapa means heat. So giving up the material world at first seems a little bit radical, but it's this first step towards initiation. Then Pundra, which means Urva Pundra, the tilak, that we show ourselves as Vaishnavas and identify outwardly to the world that we're devotees. And then comes Nama, we accept the name, Shantatma Das, Prabhu. And then you get mantra, which means that the mantra is what you'll receive today, a little bit later. And these are divine mantras that have been passed down through disciplic succession. And by chanting them, they help us to realize our relationship with Krishna. Of course, the holy name is the deliverer and is sufficient in and of itself. There's nothing needed and there's no initiation needed for the holy name, actually, although there are reasons to take initiation for the holy name, which I won't go into right now. But when you chant the holy names, and you also take Vaishnava Diksha, and especially when you take the next step, which is to worship the deity, then Jiva Goswami's opinion is the two have to go together. In Kali Yuga, the only means for deliverance is chanting the holy name, but people are so unfortunate. Manda Sumanda Mateo Manda Bhagya Hupadra in this age of Kali that they can barely chant Hare Krishna. Someone might say, whatever happened to just chant Hare Krishna? And it's like, yeah, let's see you do it. Go ahead, just chant Hare Krishna. But when you have this initiation and you're chanting these mantras and doing deity worship and following the Panchatric system, the system of deity worship, then it keeps you in a pure state. And so we don't just chant Hare Krishna, we chant Hare Krishna and avoid offenses, and we also live a pure lifestyle. Yesham Tvantagadam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Tedvandva Mohanir Mukta Bhajanti Mam Drida Vrata. In order to be steady in devotional service, you also have to be free from sinful reactions. So chanting Hare Krishna, it purifies us, but keeping close to the Pantratric system also, that whole lifestyle keeps us in such a clean position that we can very sincerely and steadily chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is like, mentioning about the verses themselves. You'll find that in the Brahma Samhita, this Saraswati, Divya Saraswati approaches Brahma and gives him one of the mantras. And then says that by chanting this mantra, you'll attain perfection. And then Golokastama, that this Brahma, when he came out of the lotus, was bewildered, but then he heard these syllables, tapa, to perform austerities, and he was very intelligent. So the austerities mentioned there is he purified himself by chanting the mantra, the divine mantra given by Saraswati. Patate pe sasuchinam prinam govinamavyam shweta dvipapatin krishnam golokastam para. Prakrintya gunarupinya rupinya paripasitam sahasradalasam pande koti kinchalka primite bhumishchintamnis tatra kardikare mahasane samasinam chidanandam jyoti rupam sanatanam. There's a way in which from that he was able to directly see the lotus upon which Krishna, he was sitting within the whorl, would find Shwetadweep or Vrindavan within the very center. And then, Atavenu nidada satrayim murti mayigati spuranti prabhiveshasu mukabjani swayam uvaha. Gayatrim gayatas tasmadi arigatyat sarojaja. That he heard the flute song of Krishna. Atavenu nidada satrayim murti mayigati. So the all the Vedic sound is there within the flute song of Sri Krishna. So Tavenu Nirada Satrai Murti Mayigati Spuranti Praviveshasu Mukabjani Swayambhuva. So he heard that flute song. It went into, because he has 4 heads, he has 8 ears, if I'm doing my math correctly. And the sound of the flute entered into the 8 ear holes of Brahmaji. And from that, he became twice born. So the mantra that gets passed down is the flute song of Sri Krishna, and it manifests into the heart of Brahma, and then he speaks it out as the Kama Gayatri mantra. And so this is a tradition that goes back to the beginning of the universe. And the way in which Krishna reaches out to us through the sound vibration of the parampara and enlightens our hearts with his own nectarian sound of the flute in the mantras themselves. I remember when I received the Gayatri mantras, I was so thrilled. It's such a mystical process to receive them and then sit and chant them 3 times a day. The world goes on around us, and everyone's rushing to work. Everyone's flying in airplanes and working in the caves, trying to get some stone. Or some, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, this karma is pushing everyone along. But to be in this advantageous situation where you've dedicated your life to listening in to the spiritual world through the parampara, then you could take the opportunity 3 times a day to stop and meditate. No, don't use that. Sorry. And so you're very fortunate. And we're all fortunate in the Krishna consciousness movement that you've come and dedicated your life to this. And we thank all the devotees there for creating such a beautiful Krishna conscious space so that everyone can thrive. Thanks to Chitra Leela, who's by this Grihastha ashram, you're getting so many benedictions and setting an example for others. And feel that it's very auspicious because you're taking this initiation specifically because you want to do more and more service, right? Say yes. Okay. Yeah, and then, Prabhupada once said that initiation is like a promotion. Like in a company, when they come to you and say, oh yeah, we're moving you up next level. Prabhupada used to promote devotees. Of course, that was his whole business, promoting the living entity out of the dark material world into the spiritual world. And this is how it happens. You come and do service and sincerely try and serve Krishna and the devotees, and then Krishna makes an arrangement through the devotees so that you can become more and more engaged, more service, closer, more intimate service. So these mantras are definitely very confidential, very intimate. You can study them. Sachinandamar has written a book called the Gayatri Book. If you haven't already read it, I recommend that you do that, or insist, please read the whole thing, study it. Talks all about the aspects of the mantra that will attract your mind more and more to chanting it. So on this very special day of your initiation, I pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bless you with more and more things. I can see that everybody's in their late 60s or 70s or even late 70s. And we're looking for more and more leaders coming from the younger section of society. So please take this as an opportunity to take more and more responsibility, you and your wife. And I pray that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bless you with all realization and steadiness in his service. Om Tat Sat. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Would you like me to say everything back in French?
Someone said yes, Prabhu.
I would, but we ran out of time. So
Someone is asking a question. I can repeat it.
okay.
So the question is, it's coming from my wife, so I have to ask it, or else I'll be in trouble. So she's asking, when are you both coming back to New Mayapur?
Well, let me ask my wife. Nicola, when are we coming back?
As soon as we can.
As soon as we can, she said. We're very attracted to that place. We're attracted to you, actually, and we look forward to coming back. We're not sure when. Our schedule's a little topsy-turvy because we've been here 2 months now in India. And we did 2 yatras recently. One was a youth yatra for kids 12 to 25. We did Puri and then we did our regular yatra, went back to Puri and then came here, and then we had to wait till the GBC meetings and stuff before we could leave. So we've been here a long time. So anyway, we're just now making our schedule for the rest of the year, trying to fit everything in. We'll let you know. But we're really touched. Thank you very much for that tacit invitation. Does anybody else have a question or comment?
Thank you for initiating Kunjeshwari. She is very active after the initiation, very enthusiastic.
Oh, good.
Thank
I'm
you
so
very much.
happy. That's great. I mean, we have everything to be joyful about, jubilant, in fact, because we're connected to Krishna. There's nothing wanting when we're Krishna conscious. That's our this direct name of this. It's full. That Kunjeshwari is doing well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I will connect with Miracula Mataji about the initiation mantra for Prabhu upstairs in few minutes.
Okay. All
Thank you very
right. Thank you very much.
On behalf of New Mayapur devotees.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchatattva. If you so desire, please bless and empower everybody in New Mayapur. Please let them expand the project by giving them unlimited resources and the wherewithal to use all of them in your service. Please let them, under Janananda Swami's superb leadership, unlimitedly expand book distribution. And may everybody be healthy, happy, and wise. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalparusha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. So Prabhu will stand by. You'll call us back, right? Or WhatsApp us?
Yes, I'll give you a
we'll
call
bring
back in 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Come on, football, I'll just come. How to stop the recording?